Oh, what a beautiful afternoon. Oh, what a beautiful day. Got free water coming out of the sky. And isn't it awesome that it rains? My question today is winning and losing. Champions versus losers. Being successful versus being unsuccessful. What does that all mean to you, and is it important? And if you want to be a champion, if you want to be a winner, if you want to be successful, what do you need to do versus what happens to people who have a goal to be successful or to win and they don't? And it's a really interesting question. I live with a fighter, a martial artist who goes into world championship, World Cup, gold medal fights. And he's won some and he's lost some. He's got multiple gold medals and he's come away from championships without any medals at all. So it's an interesting headspace to live with, because the champion husband that I have, whether he wins or loses, he's still a champion. Every part of his life, he's a winner. And I share that with you, obviously, because I'm very proud of my husband. But I ask the question very personally. Doesn't matter how many gold medals you have or how much money you have or how much success you've had in your life. Does it actually mean anything? Number one, if you're not happy. And number two, if you're not a nice person. And for me, those two things go together. I'm going to ask, again, a very personal question. Have you met people who are very wealthy but very unhappy? I certainly have. Have you met people who are very successful, very wealthy, but they're horrible people? They're nasty, they're disrespectful, they treat people badly. And to me that, and the reason I ask the question is when you look in your mirror at the end of the day, beginning of the day, whenever you have to look at your own life, look inside your own soul and say, what kind of person am I? How can you possibly be a happy person? How could we consider that we are successful if we're nasty, horrible people? Now, I know that's very personal and we can live our life exactly the way we want to. But is it possible that happy people are happy because they like who they are, whether or not they've got something? And one of the beautiful analogies or examples of being wealthy that have been shared with me is that happiness is not things, and wealth is not things, and success is not things. I am not my things is a great quote. So regardless of how many things you've got or how much money you've got, are you happy? And if you haven't got a whole heap of stuff, can you still be happy? And there's a great understanding that true happiness is that you don't want for anything. In other words, you're not, I've got to have, I wish I had, I hope I can get. It's that you're either on track to having all the things that you want, so your life is on track to achieving all the things that you want to achieve, or you don't need anything. And could that be a really interesting headspace, a very safe, successful headspace, is I don't need anything. I might want something. I might want to go on holidays, or I might want a new car, or want a new house, or I want to have new clothes. But what if your headspace says, but it's nice to want them, but I don't actually need them. I would love to be able to afford to go on a very expensive holiday, and I'm on track to being able to do that, but that doesn't determine whether or not I'm happy. And that's probably the biggest question. If your happiness is determined by things, success, gold medals, achievements, then doesn't that mean that you can't be happy now? Could it be the reverse? I'm happy now, and then all of those things are more likely to happen. And the reason I'm asking is we all live in a world, both you and I, where there are a lot of very unhappy people. Have you noticed? And often people will say to me, I would be happier if I had more money, I had a different job, I had a nicer car, a bigger house, I could go on nicer holidays, I could wear nicer clothes, I could drink better wine. I wish I had more stuff and that would make me happy. The reverse of that, I've been to some of the most poor countries in the world where people have absolutely nothing. They're still prepared to give their nothing to somebody else. So come and have dinner with us, even though they've got nothing to eat. It's just something they've grown in their garden, and they're sparingly sharing it out with their family, but they still invite you to their house, and they've still got a big happy smile on their face, and they're giving and generous and gorgeous people, even though they've got nothing. So if you really want to analyse what success is for you, and that's the really important question, when do you know that you are successful? When can you say to yourself, I'm an achiever, I'm a winner, I am successful, versus I'm a loser, I'm unsuccessful, I don't like who I am? And could the connected to that be, I'm happy regardless, so I don't need other things or other people to make me happy. and I'm happy with what I've got, striving for what I want. And that's one of the beautiful things that's been a driving force in both K-Man and my life is I love my life now, or I love who I am now, and I'm excited about who I am becoming. I love what I've got now, and I'm excited about what I'm going to achieve. Because there is the risk, that if you don't want anything, if you're not aiming for something, that you stop growing. So we're constantly aiming to improve, to get better, to invest more money in great things, to buy beautiful things, to give more money to charity so that we're constantly growing. But it's never about I wish I could have or I would be happier if. So how do you get to the point where you are happy with what you've got? And I'm always going to bring it back to physiology rather than psychology. Because the neurotransmitter in your brain that says you are satisfied with what you've got is a substance called serotonin. It's a neurotransmitter, a hormone that makes us feel good because we look around our life and say, I love my life. And of course, when you're fit and healthy and strong, and when you get puffed, and when you lift heavy, or you do a combination of both, the serotonin levels in your brain are increased and evened out. So you feel satisfied. So is it possible there's a lot of really unhappy people, and I always bring it down to this, and people say, Rowie, and your bloody exercise. But for me, it's just such a simple process because you can't change your brain chemistry. You can't feel happier, feel satisfied, feel rewarded, feel good about yourself if you don't get your brain chemistry right. That's what pharmaceutical drugs are all about. That's what antidepressants are all about. We've got to fix that person's brain because their chemistry's screwed up. Well, the quickest way to get your brain chemistry unscrewed is to get fit and get strong. And the only best way to get fit and get strong is to get puffed and to lift heavy, or a combination of the two. And I'll take it a step further. It's to overload. You've got to overload your brain, overload your heart and lungs, overload your skeletal and muscular system, overload your central nervous system, overload your endocrine system, so they are forced to change. So if you're miserable, if you're unhappy, if you don't like your life, if you want to be a winner, if you want to be a champion, you have to get your body into fight and flight. So you have to produce epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol. That's why fighting and sport and exercise are such amazing brain stimulators, because they force your body to change. And then after you've produced adrenaline, epinephrine, cortisol, and you've foughted and flighted, how's that, after you've had a fight or a flight or both, then your body produces dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, painkillers. I love those ones because they take the pain away while you're while you're overloading your muscles and bones, heart and lungs, central nervous system, endocrine system. And then your body produces brain-derived neurotrophic factor, so you keep getting better. And could that be something about life that makes you feel better? The psychologists and psychiatrists will say that happy people are people with a purpose and people who are in control of their life. If you don't have a reason to get up, if you don't have a purpose to be on the planet, you're obviously not going to be a very happy person. And if you feel that somebody else is in control of your life, or somebody else is determining what's happening to you, you're out of control, then again, you don't feel happy, you could feel depressed. So if you want to be happy, if you want to be successful, if you want to be a champion, you have to get fit, you have to get strong mentally and physically. And that only comes from overload. So I'm here every day. Romax is all about 4 things, as I always share: healthy, fit and strong for the rest of your life, career or business that you love, financially free, and great people in your life. But that combination only can happen when you've got your brain chemistry right, and your brain chemistry can only change when you force it to. So are you getting puffed? Are you lifting heavy? Are you overloading your brain to force yourself to overcome challenges, to get better at what you do? And according to the psychologists and the psychiatrists, could that be the reason why you are happy? And I ask that because I'm standing in the South Island of New Zealand. It's been free water coming out of the sky all day. A lot of people complain about that. I just love it because normally it's very brown out here, and at the moment we've got a bit of green. I want for nothing. I'm always aiming and striving to get better. But I look around my life and I'm so totally satisfied with being healthy, fit and strong. I have a career in business that I love. Financial freedom is such a simple process, as I always share, and I only have great people in my life. Now, who cares about Rowie's life? But I wish that for everybody, and that's what I come to Romax for every day, because I would love for you to be healthy, fit and strong and stay that way for the rest of your life, mentally and physically, so that you can have a career in business that you love, and whatever you do to make money, whatever you do to have a financial freedom, that you absolutely love it and you're passionate about it. and that the only people that you have in your life are people who are respectful of your goals and dreams, and only people that you would respect for their goals and dreams. Thank you for coming to Romax, and please live your life to the max. Woohoo! I feel good. Na 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 na. I knew that I would now, because look at the beautiful day. Oh, what a beautiful day. Woohoo!